This is a horrible story told on behalf of a young girl. I had a friend in the village, Katya. She lived with her mother, Aunt Luda, in a small but very cozy house. Aunt Luda did her best, and she had a farm, and a good bathhouse was built. In general, she was a very serious woman. As they say, she did not like jokes. She gave birth to Katya at the age of 40, the only child, so it happened in her life. And I believe in the story she told. She's the kind of person who doesn't accept lies in any form. Katya remembered parts of the story from when she was a kid. Her aunts used to say something about it. One day I decided to stay at Katya's house. Aunt Luda had heated the bathhouse for us, and when we came out there was hot tea and sandwiches waiting for us. We sat down to drink tea, and Aunt Luda joined us. And somehow we got to talking about unexplained things. Katerina and I began to tell different stories, about a coffin on wheels, about a black hand, and so on. And Katya shrieked, "Hey Ma, listen, remember, when I was still small, sometimes we discussed about how they wanted to attack you. You told me that you would tell me later when I grew up. Tell me now, please." To which Aunt Luda grinned and said, "Yes, I remember. How could I forget such things, those stories of yours, girls? Just children's tales. It happened when I was a little older than you." And here's the story on behalf of Aunt Luda. We lived in another village then. My parents and my sisters were in the field, and we watched the house with my younger sisters. My mom and dad also stayed in the field for the weekend to earn more money. I put my sisters to bed, and myself sitting. Things are torn. I look at the colors of the lamp, and the curtains are closed. All of a sudden, Baron's barking. It's not that he was online, he was going crazy. I felt uneasy, and suddenly there was a knock on the door. First quietly, then from behind it. Suddenly Baron whined, and with my mind I asked, "Who's there?" A voice, which is clearly trying to pass for my mother's voice, but very unpleasant, senile, hoarse, answers, "Daughter Luda, it's Mommy, open me up." How it shook. I knew that it was not my mother, and most importantly I felt a strong sense of danger. I didn't even come close to the door. I said, "No, I won't open it." The voice continues, "Luda, open up, I'm hungry." The voice becomes rougher and more like a man's. "Daughter, damn you, I'm hungry." Meanwhile the sisters, though I was horrified, I realized that this is exactly what he is talking about, that he needs a baby. The kids, naturally, were already awake. I run up to them, pointing my finger, quietly covering their mouths so they wouldn't cry. Then I knelt down and began to pray. And suddenly my voice became a lying metallic voice. It was very scary. I remembered it for the rest of my life. "We have a baby boy, you while I up to nurse which one, or myself in the mide, and stop praying, you miserable creep." I began to pray even more. Took it and held it in front of me and in front of the sisters. Suddenly heavy sighs were heard, and everything quieted down. I was shaking. I put all the girls on one bed, wrapped them with blankets, and sat next to the icon. In the morning, when I heard the neighbors, I decided to go out. When I came out, I was shocked. The Baron was lying dead, and his towns were dismantled. The neighbor said it was the first time he had ever seen such a thing and that he didn't know who could have done it. Then my parents came over. I told them everything and they believed me. They invited a man of faith, and he made a protection for the house. When the neighbors all found out about what had happened, one man told me that he had heard a story about 10 years ago in a village nearby. They found the torn corpse of a child. His brother said that at night their father knocked on the door. The father had left them a long time ago. The mother worked at night. The father said he came back to them, asking to let the boy in for joy. The boy ran out and was never seen again. They said that a wolf had attacked the child, but who it was, or what it really was, no one ever found out.